Okay, right, so keep rolling. Okay, so welcome to another lockdown lesson in the kitchen. This is a follow-up from a video clip we've done recently about beard shaping and beard cutting. So if obviously you haven't seen that one, I recommend you skip back to that one. We were looking at the fundamental basics of beard shaping, beard cutting, and some different techniques to help you to achieve the different types of beard cuts that we're learning at the moment through these profile kind of beards, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've been concentrating on creating quite a straight blunt line, just really good for skills development, hand and eye coordination. However, a lot of beards do kind of taper and graduate up into kind of underneath the jawline. So today we're going to just change that angle slightly. So for instance, we've been concentrating on cutting a very straight line, and now we're going to start to produce a more of a graduation or a taper area, so we can get it in a little bit shorter underneath the natural jawline. Starting in the centre point again, using the nose as a guide, we're going to start to, instead of coming in at a 90-degree angle, start to come up towards that kind of area. So very gently popping our first guide in, and continue with that really nice, slow, subtle movement to make sure that we are really capturing the hair within the clippers. Too fast and you will lose that, and you won't be so sharp. So we are literally taking it nice and slowly and looking at that line that we're producing. You can see where I am, posture wise I'm quite low in relation to the beard line, so I can see underneath and start to work that kind of graduation in. Using your clippers, instead of like a 90-degree angle, which would create a very straight edge, just tilting that up slightly will enable you to come in nice and close, just to bring that angle up a little bit sharper. It's very important to ensure that you are kind of constantly using the same angle, otherwise you're going to have variations of different levels. Now hopefully you can see that we've gone from being a straight cut beard to an angled beard, and that is a very traditional beard shape. Okay, so moving on to the next little skills development task is to start to think about how we're going to introduce some internal structure by removing some of the length. One of the best ways of doing that is by using your clipper over comb technique. Using your comb and collecting the hair. So the comb comes in and scoops and picks up and pulls out the hair. We can start to get rid of some of this excess you can see through the side sections. That's going to interfere with the baseline and the structure, so we're going to need to go back around and re-tidy that up. But sometimes with a beard shape, we want to bring it in tighter, and therefore we're going to need to reduce the internal aspect of that beard cut. So we're going to use a clipper over comb technique. The comb's going to come in, collect the hair, and then pull out at a 90-degree angle. I'm looking for a guide that's going to be from the bottom. That's the actual external length. So we're going to come in, collect, out at a 90-degree angle on its position, so not driving it forward or back. So in, collect, pull out, 90-degree angle, comb at 90-degree angle, and then run the clippers alongside the comb nice and evenly to start to reduce that length. That process needs to be repeated several times to ensure we have a nice, consistent flow. Removing that length. You can come in at this side, come in from the back of the beard and out, and hold it still, nice and steady. Clipper motion very steady, either coming from the downward sweep or the upward sweep. Upward sweep sometimes is easier because it helps you to then keep the hair nice and tight against the comb. Either or. And that way then we're starting to narrow the width of that beard shape. That starts to then work on the internal aspect of the shape. Now at that point we are going to start to think about then moving forward slightly and collecting some of the excess to blend. And then we're going to need to repeat on the opposite side. So picking the hair up, pulling out at a 90-degree angle, keeping your comb nice and straight, also at a 90-degree angle, so flat and straight. Pick up the excess, run your clippers along the comb to remove some of the internal length to start to shape and narrow that beard down. So internal length cutting, comb in, out and connect. You're taking out this area of the beard, which does then start to make that bottom area kind of a bit more of a pointed kind of shape. So depending on what your customer's looking for, taking that kind of length out of these sides does change it from being a very much of a rounded. You'll be able to see you've got much more area exposed here just by taking this weight out. So just to recap again, to collect, pop your comb in and twist your wrist to hook the comb into the hair, pull out successfully, holding your comb at a 90-degree angle, pulling out from a 90-degree angle, and then using your clipper to literally reduce the excess length. So it's in, pull out. And you can travel all the way forward, or if you wish to keep the thickness in the beard, over direct the hair back into that area, and that way then you've got the shorter lengths blending into the longer lengths. So you could over direct this into this area by keeping the comb nice and flat, level with this side burn area. In, collect, pull out and remove. From this direction is fine, in from behind is fine, clippers coming down the comb and up the comb is great. Signing off for today. As always, stay safe, don't forget to subscribe, and ta-ra for now.